Surprise. We got a trade today. A trade I did not know was going to happen. The Washington Communists have traded Jahan Dotson to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a third-round pick and multiple seventh-rounders per Adam Schefter, per me. Actually, I told Adam Schefter that this was going to happen. This wasn't on my radar. But I find this trade fascinating. So I wanted to go live and just talk about it and mess around, see what happens. I don't understand it completely because I was under the impression Jahan Dotson was a good wide receiver. I know, very nice rookie season. Kind of similar production last year, but, you had Sam Howell going through the bumps and bruises of learning the NFL and mostly just bumps and bruises because he got sacked a lot. And now the Eagles add a very talented third receiver to go with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And, of course, Dallas Goedert at tight end. So I think this is a nice move for Philly. I have questions about why Washington did this. But I feel like there's got to be something else going on with Dotson and his fit with Washington, right? To give him confidence to trade him. Also to trade him within the division. Even if you don't believe in a guy, it's always, you got to think Dotson's going to sabotage the Eagles to feel confident enough to send him to one of your biggest threats. I don't respect interdivisional trades. I am against it in principle. And I kind of hope it blows up in Washington's face just for going against my principles. But I feel like this is going to be a win-win trade for both teams. I know that's a lame thing to say. Nobody ever wants a win-win situation, right? They want somebody to get fucked on the trade. We got to have somebody getting fleeced on the trade. But I think this might be a win-win situation. But who knows? I meant to bring this visual up, late on the visual. But you got Ari talking about it. When Washington selected Jahan Dotson back in 2022, they originally had the number 11 pick, but traded down to 16 with New Orleans. Used the number 11, who took Olave at 11, and then the Lions traded up at 12 to get Jameson Williams. 2 years later, here it is. Here's the key. New head coach, new GM, Dotson shipped off. So, one, I think there were reports about, Dotson not living up to expectations of the new staff throughout training camp, right? The wide receiver 2 spot was open in Washington. We kind of heard that. But sometimes you think that's just like a coach trying to motivate his guys, motivate his players to step up. And I thought that's kind of what Dan Quinn was doing with Dotson. Also, I think Dan Quinn is a level-headed, patient head coach. So that's what gives me pause for Eagles fans being really excited about Dotson. Like, I don't think Dan Quinn is going to get rid of a player like Dotson if he believes in that guy. So I feel like Dotson's done something there to show that he's not going to work with Kingsbury in that offense. I don't think Dan Quinn would make like a rash decision and get rid of an ultra talented dude for like some shitty reason, right? And that's on my mind just because of all the Tua and Brian Flores stuff. So I'm confident that this is probably an okay move for Washington in terms of the direction they want to go. I don't think it's going to stunt Jaden Daniels' growth. And keep in mind, guys, Washington has Luke McCaffrey on their roster, okay? Never underestimate a McCaffrey. So they got Terry McLaurin. You got your number 1. And then, there's a lot of question marks outside of that. They still have Diami Brown there, Jamison Crowder. There's question marks there. I don't think Washington has the deepest receiving group by any means, but I am not counting out Luke McCaffrey. Some people are saying this is Washington trying to make room for one Brandon Ayuk. I don't know about that, but I love that the Brandon Ayuk trade rumors are still alive, still fucking alive. We can't get rid of the Brandon Ayuk trade rumors, even when another trade happens. But it's interesting. And I think we have given Howie Roseman a lot of credit in Philadelphia for making trades. They go all in. We thought that they did this midseason last year. It didn't really work out, but I do like this for Philly. I started the episode saying, I think Jahan Dotson is a good receiver, and I think in a wide receiver 3 role in Philly, his production is going to be very similar to what we saw the last 2 years in Washington, but without the expectations of being the number 2 guy. And sometimes I think when your role is more suited to what you do well, you can thrive. And maybe that happens for Dotson with the Eagles. Let me get to some of these super chats. I'm behind. I was rambling. Jaden Daniels gets to choose between throwing to a double team Scary Terry and Luke McCaffrey. Again, Luke, Christian McCaffrey, great. Ed McCaffrey, his father, great. I think Luke's going to be great. It's in his blood, damn it. It's in his pasty blood. When is clickbait? I don't know. Maybe later today. Maybe not. I don't know, Jordan. That's a very good question. Dan Quinn was complaining about Dotson at camp. He's talented, but he probably never could put it together for the team. I wish Dotson well, though. Yeah, and I think that's, when you have a new head coach, a new coaching staff, new general manager, they're going to have different opinions on guys. And there are just going to be casualties to players that fans liked or other people were hopeful for that don't maybe fit the scheme, don't fit what they do. Doesn't mean the guy's not talented. Just means that I think there are some guys that Quinn and Washington are bringing in that they want to give opportunity to over Dotson and to get a 3rd-round pick for him. I know he's a 1st-round pick, but I think a 3rd-round draft pick seems about fair. We are going to thoroughly handle the Seattle Seahawks. I'm guessing you're talking about the Broncos, but I agree. We will beat them barely. So I don't fully agree. I mean, I'll take it. Good number 3 for us. It's kind of random. They traded him to a division rival, though, even if they think he's not. Yeah, just to never trade to a division rival. Unless you think that guy's going to sabotage your team. He's going to tear him down from within. I don't think Dotson's that guy. But I do not. Because if Dotson's good, if the Eagles beat Washington, say twice this season, if Dotson goes off in one of those games, it's a bad look for the Commanders. Love the solo stream, by the way, Perna. Thank you. Oh, I finally have the confidence to go solo. I'm behind you. No, you're not, Kevin. Just had to double check. Hope you did good in your competition. Your strongman competition, Kevin. Yeah, I don't think Ayuk's coming to Washington. I think this is a win-win. And it's just bizarre, though, when you do get an interdivision trade. And I hope it works out for both teams. No, I don't. I hope it blows up in one of their faces. Because that's better for views. That's a better story. But I don't want to drag this shit out. It's just a trade I didn't see coming. It's just a weird one to me. And don't forget, today's episode is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. That's my promo code. That's good. I got a link in the description. If you want to sign up to play daily fantasy, to play in their higher or lower contests, their champions contests. And again, if I get 10,000 signups with my code, Underdog owes me $1 million. And you're going to get tired of me saying that, but I've never had a chance to make that kind of fucking money in my life. Am I excited about that opportunity? Yeah. Why? Because of the doors it can open for this channel. It can keep this channel alive for not just next year, but for 5 years, for 10 years. I can finally, if I do this, put the resources into this shit that I've always dreamed of. So don't stop my dreams from coming true. That's all I'm asking. This is twice now that AP has traded in the division. It is getting weird, Doug. I think that's a fair point. I don't get it. But what the reason you probably do trade within the division is I'm guessing Philadelphia was willing to offer better trade compensation, than anybody else. And when you're trying to trade a player, that's what you're trying to get. You're trying to get the max capital back for that player, correct? So Philly, I would have to imagine there are other teams interested, but I'm guessing Philly with the third and whatever seventh rounders are going around on that in the back end of that trade. They just made the best offer, and that's why Washington was like, "Yeah, we'll take a third." You could in what you can get receivers anywhere in the draft. We know that historically. And with the third, you can use that to move up into the second round because that's another great place to get receivers if you determine you need that heading into the next draft if you're Washington. Perna, the Brandon that doesn't drag shit out. Yes. Yeah, so quick shitter. They call me a quick shitter. Hasn't Belichickian been hanging around Washington camp? This seems like a Belichick-inspired move. Yeah, Belichick would do it. But that's because Bill was never scared, right? Bill's never scared to lose. He'd move on from a guy a year too early. That was always their thing. So, He's a McCaffrey. He'll be great. Derek Watt. Well, let's not compare Derek to TJ and JJ. One, full name, not initials. Derek was doomed from the beginning. Why Derek's parents gave him a full name instead of just like DD to go with his brothers, I don't know. But he chose to play fullback too. That's on him. If he played edge, we'd be like, damn, that's the greatest trio of brothers to ever play in the NFL. I think McCaffrey is going to surprise some people, okay? I think McCaffrey is going to surprise some people. Howie Roseman is a GM. Also, Cowboys can never do this. They never pay Dotson. This means Eagles should go 12-5 or even 13-4. It's another weapon. It's another weapon for Jalen Hurts. I like it. It's the right weapon too. Put him in the slot. There you go. And Derek was a good fullback. Wait, am I going crazy here, or did I see someone say that Scary Terry got traded to Denver? Google AI must be playing tricks on me. Terry McLaurin going to Denver would get me excited, but that is not true. That is not accurate. That did not happen. So you got tricked. You 100% got tricked. Who do you think's I know Eagles fans are excited. They feel good. They feel like they won the trade. But I think there are Washington's fans who are a little confused, a little perplexed, but I don't think any of them are like, oh yeah, we definitely needed Dotson to succeed. It's just more like, oh, okay, well then who's going to be the number 2 receiver? And again, this has been building up in Washington through training camp, through the preseason. It's been an open role that Dan Quinn has wanted somebody to step up and, earn. And I think they just have other guys there that they think can do it. Who's that going to be? It's Luke McCaffrey, guys. It's Luke McCaffrey. Now we need Philly to do one more crazy trade. They will make one more trade in the season. I think that will certainly happen. Let's see. Can we get any more nuggets about this trade before I get out of here? Let's go. Let's go up. Let me move this out. Where's my search bar? Jahan Dotson. Boom. What do we got? Let's see what the people are saying. This is a good observation from Josh. Also, he's with Underdog. Wide receiver 3 and probably a better offense. If you're talking fantasy, probably shouldn't affect your fantasy ranking of Dotson at all. Eagles excited about the trade. But everybody's just kind of like, why'd this happen? Makes sense for the Eagles, makes a little less sense for the Commanders, but, depends on what they do with that third pick. Can they turn that third pick into something more? Ooh, look at this guy. It's got the perfect fit for the Eagles. His ability to run routes while never earning targets is ideal for A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith to continue. That is hilarious. A rare in-division trade from Adam Schefter. That's it. That's all the news. I have completely broken this down. Anyway, I hope this works out for you, both guys. I'm rooting for both of you. All right, 15-minute live stream. This will be the shortest live stream I think I ever did. I thank you guys for tuning in on this breaking news. Don't forget, my code is That's Good. The goal is to get 10,000 signups. That gets me to $1 million. And then we take over the motherfucking planet together. We do it together. All right, see you guys. Oh, no, wait, hold on. Wrong button. Let me not mess this up.